Mike Clevinger is here, Tribe right-hander. Great to see him. Mike, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
Repping the Grateful Dead today with the hat. I see that.
A little bit of dancing bears.
That's great. That's great. I asked Carlos this too when he stopped by. What's this like? It's the dead of winter. It's February 1st, and I know spring training's coming up, but to see Tribe fans flocking downtown to the convention center to see you guys. I know for you guys too, it's also exciting to see everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's the blood pumping to get ready to get out to Arizona. You can just feel it, like, especially coming into the stadium, getting a little work in with some of the physical stuff the other day, and coming back to your locker, and get to, I don't know, all the excitement going.
Yeah, for sure.
So last season, high hopes for you, obviously, and you go through what you went through with your strained back muscle. I think you had a couple of starts after that weren't maybe what you wanted, but then you had a streak that was probably the best pitching you've ever done in baseball. What were you concerned when the injury happened that it might really kind of sabotage your season, or was it always?
I mean, it tore me up, because I mean, obviously, especially those two starts coming in, I was like, okay, everything that I worked on, it's actually coming, like, it's working right now, and I was like on a roll. And then, especially the timeline they initially gave me, it was supposed to be potentially the whole season, at least a few months, and I was like, obviously pretty torn about that. Then I started, getting back to rehabbing or seeing my arm move a lot better. The doctor's giving us good reports back. We're getting everyone's opinion, and all of a sudden I'm throwing, 2 months ahead of schedule. So now there's a little more light at the end of the tunnel that wasn't there initially. So it kind of took, like, as bad as it was, now it got a little bit better. And then just getting back into the swing of things, it wasn't even about I need to log 200 innings, get 32 starts. Now we're just on a stretch to chase Minnesota, so just every game, every inning was just like a playoff inning. I think that's really what bolstered, the numbers for me coming back.
I wrote down this stat, which I think is great, from July 3rd.
Bud did a lot of homework today.
You are Mike Clevinger, right?
I pretend to be.
From July 3rd through September 24th, excluding one start, made 16 starts, 102 innings, had 134 strikeouts, and had a 1.76 ERA over that span. So we're talking about over 2.5 months time, which I guess you would agree was maybe the best stretch of your major league career to that point.
I mean, definitely the best stretch of my career thus far.
And what do you attribute it to?
I mean, it's just that hunt. It was really just like we're trying to catch Minnesota, and they wouldn't stop winning, and it's like nothing we can do. And then everybody that were chasing the wild card didn't lose either. So I think that race really did help just intensify every inning for me.
You mentioned the Twins. They hit so many home runs last year, and then throughout in baseball there were so many home runs. People talk about the juice baseball and that the ball was just flying out of the ballpark. Did you notice anything different from when you would grip the ball, or anything different? They talked about the laces being. I mean, is there anything?
No, I mean, you just gotta. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't attributing how much science is now involved even on the hitting side, not just the. So, I mean, that whole launch angle and hitting the ball the right way and down on the ball and stuff, I think that helped it. But, yeah, I mean, there's just guys, there's balls coming off bats, not like exactly off the barrel, they're getting out, like back in like the 90s home runs, like some looked like that in certain parks. And it was just, that's when you knew it just felt a little different, but who knows.
When you were pitching against the Twins, you didn't hear any like garbage cans banging or anything like that, did you?
No. They did that just with raw power.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There wasn't any.
No, Garver just had a hanging slider.
You've had no shortage of opinions on everything that happened with the Astros. and
on anything.
I do feel like there's some players, you know this too, Mike. You've been in the clubhouse with all sorts of different people. There's some guys that know it's wrong, know it's messed up, but they'll take the route of, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. You have taken a different stand. You've kind of said, hey, listen, what they did was messed up. We're not happy about it. Why do you feel that strongly, and how much you voiced it compared to some guys who might not say much?
I mean, it wasn't even really like a personal vendetta. I have guys that I went through the systems with that, if one thing swung their way, they could, had somewhat of a career, even made it, or hit that, snowball effect where now you're, like heading the right direction. But it was just that, like, we played them, we knew something was going on every time we went to Houston since I've been in the big leagues. We knew something was going on. Then me and TB knew exactly what was going on. We didn't have a smoking gun in hand, and I didn't want to look like a hippie conspiracist, and he just didn't want to look like the bad, Twitter monster Trevor Bauer. So we had these talks since 2017, and there's nothing. And me and him said the whole time we were waiting, there's going to be some guy they don't sign back. There's going to be somebody they don't give the money to. Someone's that they can't hold this glue together. People know someone's going to snitch eventually. That's inside that had the stuff, and sure enough,
it like fires.
I don't know if you saw the Jason Stark from The Athletic, right? About who looked back at their strikeout ratio in 2017. It was historic improvement. It was improvement that wasn't seen in 100 years, especially in games played at home.
I mean, So you knew something was going on, as you said. I mean, it's just, I don't know if it seemed too easy, what they were able to do. It's like, I think in baseball, there's no, I don't know how you feel about it. There's no problem with sign stealing. If people are getting your signs, you probably need better signs. That happens.
I mean, if you're getting it from second base, I can't do it. I wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's right. But when you're using, the issue obviously is when you're using video technology and you're using things that are in the dugout, different sorts of elements, and that's where we have the major issue with all this, right?
And another major issue I think that was widespread across the league is how they went about their business. It wasn't just doing it; it's staring at a camera, talking. We need to play on 5 p.m. When does Floyd Mayweather fight? All these words, all this backlash to me when I said one thing about it in the media, and then they're going around the clubhouse trying to say stuff about me to media. All this backlash and staring
while they knew
what they had the whole time is insane.
Yeah.
Chest out, looking down upon other people. Why? You're in the worst scandal in baseball history. Insane.
Yeah, I think you said something that I thought was really dead on, and when you talked about it being in many ways worse than steroids. But why did you say that?
I don't really want to put it like a scale. I was just, if you would ask any pitcher if they would rather face Sammy Sosa without him knowing what you're throwing, or would you face an MLB average hitter and him knowing every pitch, they would always tell you to pick Sammy Sosa, and that's not going to be a comfortable AB. But I'd still rather have that than Tony Kemp knowing every pitch I'm throwing.
Yeah. And Sammy had some swing and miss.
Yeah.
A little bit.
There's some holes in that. There's some holes in that.
Right. You can get around that a little bit. I don't know how much you look at you look at the schedule at all, but I was talking with Tom Hamilton, the voice of the Indians, the other day. You guys open at home against you open at home, it's going to be cold. Then you go to Detroit, Minnesota, it's going to be cold. You take on Tampa, it's going to be cold. It's here in Cleveland. You've got the first 40 games are in cold weather places.
It's the same thing last year too. I don't know how we didn't learn from last year.
I don't know if that. I mean, they say it takes the bats a little time to warm up and stuff, but for a pitcher, when you go from Arizona now to all these cold weather places, how will you deal with that?
I mean, that's just nature of the beast. I mean, it's not really. You can complain, but who cares? I mean, no one cares. You got to go pitch. You got to go pitch.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think part of it helps us later. I mean, just get weather hard later. I mean, we had games in Texas where it's 127 on the ground on-field temperature. Yeah. I think maybe starting out in the tough situations will make it easier when we get into the springtime, the summertime.
I've always said I want to go to the cocktail party where they put the schedule together. Yeah. It's an open bar. They do a great job, I think.
They wait till the bar is closed, I think.
That's right. Then they come out after.
Yeah, I mean, you've had one of the great four-seam fastballs and sliders in the league over the last few years. Is there anything that you feel like you can do even better coming into this season? Is there any part of your game that you're trying to pay attention to?
You're refining the curveball, especially the changeup. I just that thing was a hit or miss. I didn't know if it was either going to be really good or really bad. I can't really have that variance on a pitch going to a game, or at least use it with confidence or in any big situation. So been refining both those this offseason. It's actually been really well.
Do you know that coming out of the bullpen, or do you have to try to throw it in games to find out whether it's...
You never really know. I mean, adrenaline's a hell of a thing. And so once you get out there, so sometimes I'll throw an amazing bullpen and I am not anything on the mound. So it goes both ways. So
you've got 11 days until you get to until pitchers and catchers are to report. When do you get out to Arizona? And time is just flying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Fly back, pack my stuff up in my house, and I'm back on a flight to Arizona the 7th, I think.
Wow. It seems everything's earlier this year.
Yeah.
You got the 26th. You open up. Spring training is starting earlier, but a lot of you guys are putting in so much work in the off season now. I don't think that this is
there's no off season.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be. Guys would go to spring training when Bud was covering baseball. The guys would go there to get in shape.
Talk about 100 years ago. Hey, so do you watch much of and pay attention to much of what the Twins and White Sox have done this year, and what do you make of it, their off seasons?
I mean, this is going to be exciting. Like I said, I'm really glad they went after a lot of righties, big righties. But no, it's good. I think the AL Central is going to take a big turn. I think it's just good to see teams trying to win. You want to compete out there. You don't want to. I mean, not that it's not obviously you want to win every game, but I mean, playing rebuilding teams all the time, you want that competitive, balance. So when you do go to the postseason, you're ready. And not that you're. I mean, I feel like that helps. It helps the game too. Just grow the game.
There was talk a couple of years ago when you guys were winning the division and no one was challenging you, and then all of a sudden the playoffs come and you're going 100 miles an hour, and it's like, oh man, they kind of just cruised. I guess to have teams pushing you too would be something that's a good thing, and here we are. I mean, it seems like you're going to have that no matter what.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I think this is going to be, at least since I've been in the big leagues here in the AL Central, one of the most competitive all around it's been.
Yeah, there was a lot of focus on the Twins. What did you see of the White Sox last year, and how much do you think they've improved themselves?
I mean, they've definitely taken big strides. I mean, I'm just watching Eloy. That's one guy, I just watching him, just his plate discipline just this year. I watched him the first time facing him till the end, him, just approach he's taken. I can tell, guys like Abreu, who's, a very, very smart hitter, and that's a guy you can't look at, a whole scouting report. You kind of got to pitch to him day by day because he's going to try to pick you apart with certain zones. And I know he's been with these young guys over there, and they're gonna be a scary team, but I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Corey Kluber's gone. Will it be weird not having him around? He was a big part of that starting rotation for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was the staple of the whole startup of the whole starting pitcher and the depth. And I mean, we knew that we had depth in starting pitching, so we knew something had to be done. And I mean, it's gonna suck not having his presence and not I think every one of us looked at his body of work and kind of took a piece from it to put in our routine. Yeah. And that was something that was really incredible to watch.
Is it the same with Trevor? That people took some stuff from him also?
Yeah,
I know you did personally, but
everybody did. Everybody did, 100%.
We hear that word routine. Was there anything specific that you can share about Kluber that makes him, separates him from something you were able to pick up? Because I think for the longest time we've heard, Kluber's got this routine. Was there anything specific you could share of wow, okay, I've never seen this, I want to do this?
I mean, what I really liked from it is routines. I think people take it very literally. And I think I didn't like routines. I didn't like to be confined, have to do the same thing over and over again. It's not even like the routine. His checkup on his body, it might be different, a little bit different each day. Okay. But I've got a shoulder ailment today. I got my knees barking, my hips barking. This whole different exercises, mobility work, training room stuff, and and just seeing how he can self-diagnose with the trainers each day and day out. That's what I do every day.
And what did pitching with Trevor Bauer mean to you? What did you take away from? From his approach.
Yeah, he's a brainiac when it comes to everything with biomechanics, and I mean he's helped me tremendously, and he's one of the dudes that got a bad rap for a lot of dumb things, but he's one of the dudes that take the most time out of his day to spend with you and get you right.
You guys are close. I mean, you feel like sometimes he's just misread, and or maybe people don't.
I just don't think people don't like. I mean, if people say they want honesty, and then you give them
Until
honesty,
they get it.
yeah. And I don't think he really goes. Obviously, everyone crosses the line sometimes, but I think a lot of the stuff he gets in trouble for is just being really honest.
And I was cool with everything until he chucked that ball over the center field wall at Kansas City. I think he would take that back if he could. That was the one thing I said. Wait a minute.
I was mostly
Tito's reaction was.
I was mostly impressed. I was really impressed with that.
How did he make it over? That's 400 feet.
Between that and the kid asking for a towel in Kansas City is my two favorite moments in baseball so far. Called time for a towel.
Mike, we appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, thanks, man.
Mike Clevinger, Indians right-hander, nice enough to spend some time with us here at Tribe Fest. We're at the Convention Center.